Hello and welcome everyone to the music therapy module Guitar Workshop. My name is Seneca Block. I'm the Lauren Rich Fine Endowed Director for Expressive Therapies. And today we're going to be going through this instrument, talking about reasons why to pick up the guitar and some of the neurological benefits that it has for us, as well as some of the physiological benefits it has for us. And then we'll go through some of the mechanics of the actual instrument. We'll learn a little bit of lingo, and I'll even share some chords to a song. So let's dive right in. So why learn the guitar? Well, the guitar can be a very focused and mindful experience. It's a multi-sensory experience where you're actually holding the instrument in your lap, you have the feel of the strings, and then of course you hear the sound of the instrument as you play. But it's also a really great way to express thoughts and feelings. There may be a time where you want a particular message to come out and you don't have your own words to do that. There's pretty much a song for everything. So learning different songs can be a really great way to do that. And it's also a really great way to socialize with other musicians. Many times during holiday events, multiple musicians can get together within your home, or you can go out and do that together at some local spots. It's also a really great way to externalize our emotions, to really express ourselves again in ways that we wouldn't be able to do without music, and it's a really excellent way to reduce stress. Now, when we actively play an instrument, it's not only having an impact on our emotional responses, we've also seen through research that it has a neurologic implication. So several brain structures, the one pictured here is actually the arcuate fasciculus, which is known as the speech and language highway. Now this connects the Wernicke's and Broca area of the brain that's mainly related to speech, passive interception. However, we see in this diagram that a musician's arcuate fasciculus is actually densified compared to a non-musician. Now this not only shows that music is actually relayed through the brain almost as a language, what's also interesting is that there's implications that active instrumental play may actually be used as a maintenance tool across the lifespan. So it's something that we can do that helps keep us mentally sharp. So it's actually a really great investment into the well-being in your future self by learning an instrument. And just passively listening also has implications where we've seen areas of the brain that are related to the reward response actually light up. We see that music that often gives us chills is actually increasing areas in the brain that are highly rewarding, and also they can help increase our mood state. Now let's get to the guitar. This is a photo of a guitar very similar to the one that I'm holding in my hands right now. There are many different types of guitars. This is actually an acoustic electric guitar, but the basic areas of the body and the neck and the headstock are pretty much the same. So we'll start at the top here. This is known as the headstock, and this is where the strings attach. These small little buttons here, these are called the tuners. This is where you actually turn the knobs to release or put more tension on the string to change the tuning of it. Next we get down to the neck and the fretboard. So this is the main section here that's the darker wood on this guitar. This section is called the body. And then the bottom section is called the bridge. And there are many different types of guitars, but one thing that I'll say whenever you are purchasing one or you're wanting to learn, it's really great to have your guitar set up by a professional, and there are many different music stores that do that. It just makes learning the instrument much more simple. So before we get into playing, this is very important, and it's something that's taken me many years to recognize how important it actually is. Posture and holding. So when you consider the way that you sit and the way that you hold your guitar, it's important to know that your body should be in a relaxed, neutral position. So oftentimes I want to make sure that I'm not crouched over the guitar like many musicians tend to do. We want to observe a straight posture with a straight linear back, We also want to look at our arm and make sure that we're observing about a 90-degree angle in our elbow. So that will help dictate your strap height, which is how high you have your strap with the guitar. So again, we don't want any awkward, painful angles to avoid injury in the future. And then also your posture will help open your airway. So if you would like to learn the guitar and then learn some songs to sing as well, it'll help make that easier and you'll already be set up for that process. And on to the fun part. So these are what I lovingly call cowboy chords. These are simple open chords on the guitar, and I'm going to share a few with you. So these are pretty typical diagrams. So if you were to Google, guitar chords to a favorite song, this is likely what will come up. When you're looking at these diagrams, what it is showing you is the neck, and where it says G, that would be at the top of the headstock. So those numbers and the dots refer to your fingers. So on your left hand, if you're playing a right-hand guitar, it will actually be your pointer finger is your first finger. That goes on that 5th string. Your second finger will go on that 1st string. And then your 3rd and 4th finger will go up your 5th and 6th. So as you're holding a chord too, it's very important to observe a C shape in the hand. This helps with your leverage of holding the chord. Also, I like to think of my fingers when they're on the actual fretboard. I say ballerina fingers. So if you think of ballerina toes, ballerina fingers are kind of coming up and just only pressing one string at a time instead of mushing other ones down that will end up muting them so you don't get a sound out of it. So we observe a C shape, think ballerina fingers, we hold the chord. It's also very important here that we use enough tension but not too much tension. So as you press your chords, I say you can press them down with some good force, give it some strums, and then slowly release force until you hear the strings buzz. So you'll learn that you only need a little bit of tension to make the chord actually sound. Quite oftentimes we get injuries in this hand, our chording hand, because we're holding our chords too tight, and it's actually unnecessary. So it's a good way to learn that economy of motion. So that's our G chord. Here's our C chord. Again, we take that 3rd finger on our 5th string, our 3rd finger on our 4th string, our 1st finger on that 2nd. There's our C chord. Again, we can observe a C shape here. And then we get to our D, which is 1st finger on our 3rd string, 2nd finger on our 1st, and 3rd on our 2nd. And again, you can just Google GCD guitar chords, and this is one of the many images that come up. So if you're wanting to learn this, you can work through that. And these 3 chords can actually lead you to play several songs. And the first one I'll show you all today that's very, very simple. It's a Tom Petty tune. We'll do the first verse of it. So it's G, C, C, G, D, G, C, C, G, D. And this is the entire song, verses and chorus. She's a good girl, loves her mama, loves Jesus, and America too. She's a good girl, crazy about Elvis, loves horses, and a boyfriend too. G, C, C, G, D. Well, I hope this leads you on to picking up a guitar, learning more about it. If you have any questions, please reach out to your local music therapist or feel free to email me at seneca.block@uhhospitals.org. And happy guitaring, everyone.